Hey guys, it's Jess, and this is part 2 of the newbie questions I had. So I will try to go faster and definitely not take as long because yesterday was kind of a long video. It was 20 minutes long. So yeah, let's get started before this intro turns into 40 minutes long. So yeah, the first question is, my orchid isn't doing anything. So that could just be that you have a dormant like orchid, you're not providing enough light or humidity, so they need a certain amount of light so they can stay productive. That makes any sense. So you have to make sure that you're giving it the correct amount of light. Yeah. And I will link the video here, the other video, just because I might be referencing the other questions I answered. So definitely check out the light question there. It can also be, if you don't fertilize, it can also have an effect on how fast it grows. And also, if you have the paphiopedilum, those take forever to grow. So yeah, it also depends on the orchid because it can take forever to grow. So yeah. How long do the flowers last? And in the Phalaenopsis world, specifically the hybrid world, that's like 3 months. At least 2 months, I would say. If it's any other type of orchid, it all varies on what it is. Sorry. I think that the catasetums take like 3 weeks or something, because I think this is on its 3rd week and it's already lost 1 flower. So it all depends on what type of orchid you have. Some orchids definitely retain their flowers for longer, and others it's probably a week and then they are dead. So yeah, if you want a longer lasting flower, check out Phal hybrids, because I think the species they die faster. So yeah. Why are my buds blasting? So if you see them blasting, or if you don't know what that is, it'll be like let me see if I can show you guys. Okay, I'll show you guys with an orchid, so you guys know what I'm talking about. Okay, so you guys can see right here, this Phal has three buds. These buds will no longer be green. All the buds have a color similar to this, greenish, maybe more darker, because these are really bright actually. So the buds will turn really wrinkly and they will start shriveling, and you will notice that it's dying because its stem right here, this little stem connecting it to the spike, will start turning yellow. So it won't have any hint of green because this is like a lime green. So they will start turning yellow. So that's how you know your buds are blasting. And they will blast if you change its environment rapidly, or if it got a temperature drop, or if you change something like fertilized. Maybe fertilizer can do it. If you repot it, it can definitely blast. So I'd say that if you really want to see the flowers, don't repot, keep everything the same. So yeah. How do I get a spike? So I kind of covered that, I think, on the last video, and I basically said for Phalaenopsis it's really easy. All you have to do is provide like a 5 degree temperature difference at night and in the daytime. I'm talking Fahrenheit here, so I don't know how much Celsius is. I'm sorry. So yeah, 5 degrees for Fahrenheit, and the Phalaenopsis, they will start creating the little spike. For like for these right here, for catasetum type, after they go dormant or right before they go dormant, they'll start creating a little spike. So yeah, it depends on the type of orchid. Just because some create it from the top, the spike, some create it from the side. So it all depends. You're gonna have to Google photos just to see where the spike comes from, and usually it can be a temperature drop, or once the pseudobulb matures or the cane matures, it'll create the spike if you treated it well. So definitely want to treat them like babies so it can give you those flowers. Okay, should I cut the spike? So I think you cut the spike for every single orchid except for Phalaenopsis and for Psychopsis. I think, yeah. The Phalaenopsis, they can definitely grow secondary spikes. And they can keep growing from the tip. They'll keep growing and create buds after these finish, if it wants to. If not, it's just gonna dry up. And sometimes it can even create keikis, so definitely don't cut them if you want to see things like that. The Psychopsis, if you guys don't know what that is, it's the one with the mottled leaves, and it has like a really long stem, and that stem just keeps flowering. Like, it can flower like 7 years straight, 11 years straight. So that's the type of orchid they are. They just constantly, what are they called? They're like consecutive flowers, like flowers. If that makes any sense. Can't think of the exact what they are, but yeah, the Psychopsis, they just keep flowering. After one flower dies, it'll create the spike will keep growing and create the bud. So they are only a one type flower for each spike. So your Psychopsis can have like 3 spikes, but on that spike it's only gonna have 1 flower in bloom, unless it's weird for some reason. But yeah, I think it only grows 1 flower on each spike, and then it dies, and then it creates a new bud. So yeah, those are pretty cool. Okay, is this a root or a spike? So sometimes the roots come. Actually, I'll show you guys this, because this is a good example. Okay, so this is a not so dying orchid. So I think I made a video about this, so I'll link it up here if you guys want to see its story, because I think I did story time with this one. But yeah, sometimes you can see right here, the roots will, is this the wrong side? Yeah, the roots will come from here. So you can see, normally the spikes come from here. So there's an easy way to tell if it's a spike. So a spike is a lot pointier, and the root will be more round at the end. So yeah, if you guys are unsure of if it's a spike or a root after I've told you guys, it's because I feel like this is the only way I can explain it. A spike is pointier and root's rounder, and if it keeps growing, you'll be able to tell more what it is. But if you guys still don't know, definitely you guys can post it on the Orchaholics Anonymous, and people will tell you if it's a spike or a bloom, because people do it all the time. So why are my roots white? So I was like freaking out when I was unpotting some of my orchids, my Phalaenopsis orchids, not this one, but some of the ones I had. I was unpotting them from bark, and I was going to repot them in bark, because I recently bought them and I didn't want bugs. So I was unpotting the orchids, and I saw like a lot of them had white roots, and I was freaking out. I was like, what is this? I was like, it's like, are my roots like dying? But I would touch the roots and they would be firm. So I was freaking out. I was like Googling, why are my roots white? And people were saying, oh, they turn silver because they need water. And I was like, no, they're not silver, they're white. They're like paper white. And I was looking for YouTube videos, but nobody had anything about white roots. So I think after I actually found out what the white roots were, I think Miss Orchid Girl posted like a video about it, like maybe a couple weeks later. So I was like, perfect timing. I don't remember how I found. I feel like it might have been I feel like it might have been like an orchid forum. Yeah. But basically the roots turn white because they're not receiving any light. So if the root grows like right here, like right in the middle, and there's like no light hitting it, it's going to grow white just because it's not photosynthesizing. But if it's in a more brighter area here, or closer to the end, it'll be green or silver because it gets more light. So yeah, white roots aren't bad. It just means that they're not getting any sunlight for them to actually photosynthesize. I think the chlorophyll are the things that turn the leaves and the roots green. So it doesn't have any chlorophyll on the roots because there's no sun inside the bark or sphagnum or wherever you grow them. So don't freak out if you see white roots. Okay, I noticed this. Can you guys see it? Maybe not. But I used to have a few orchids, which I don't remember which ones. They basically had hairy roots. So it kind of looks like white mold if you look at it, but I've seen this more on full water culture. So what I used to do is just spray it with peroxide, and if it didn't sizzle or anything, I mean, it's nothing bad. That's how I took it. So later I found out that those little hairs that you see are basically what the roots grow so they can attach to something. So yeah, you'll probably see it more on full water culture, just because on sphagnum or bark, those roots are already attached to something, and I'm guessing that the full water culture ones are growing those hairs, kind of the moldy hairs, to look for something to attach to, and obviously they're not going to find anything. That's why we see it more. Yeah. Okay, I was really confused when I started what seedling, near blooming size and blooming size meant, kind of. Like, I know what they mean, but I'm talking about years until they bloom. So obviously blooming size will bloom any day. So this would be a blooming size Phalaenopsis. It's blooming. Near blooming size can mean it can bloom from a year to 2 years. So yeah, and the seedling is basically a baby, and they can take like 3 to 4 years to bloom. So definitely you will have to, when you're buying, definitely pay attention to this. If you're really impatient like I am and I want to see the flowers, I will go for the blooming size. But if you're just orchids that you want to have to actually take care of, maybe try near blooming size. They're a lot cheaper most of the time. The seedlings are going to be way cheaper. What is cheaper? The cheaper. But they will definitely take forever to bloom. But you're gonna be like an orchid mom to it, and they require a lot more care. So yeah, definitely be careful when you're shopping for orchids and you see seedling near blooming size or blooming size. And usually near blooming size and blooming size will have like NBS and BS, like blooming size, NBS is near blooming size. So yeah, that's just an FYI. But yeah, if you guys did like the video, please leave a like. Comment on any future videos you guys want me to do, and if you guys still have questions about questions I had, or if I didn't cover a question, or I didn't answer a question correctly and you're still curious, let me know in the comments and I will answer it. And if you guys want to see more videos like this, please leave a like. Thank you guys.